not unexpectedly an atmosphere that would set even the most experienced players' nerves on edge. Celtic Park vibrating with volcanic energy. And you know, I feel an expectancy that goes well beyond any of the other two previous ties. For ever since the draw was made, this Celtic support have made an assumption with Berg's, I think, on the dangerous that they could bank on 3 points against a team from up the field. But Rosenborg over the years have crafted a reputation for themselves, not based on star quality, but in hard graft, and by mostly local lads too. A factor that these green and white hoops used to pride themselves on as well in the past. So whilst Rosenborg might be considered the underdogs in this setting, they do have 6 players out there who can boast more European experience than some of the most glamorous clubs in Europe, amassed in the run of 7 successive seasons at this level. However, I've been speaking to some of the Norwegian journalists who think that with 8 players or 30 years or more, Rosenborg might be creaking at the joints now. Well, beside me, Billy, let me add my congratulations, Billy Stark, new St Johnsen manager. The Celtic team tonight, Billy.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much as expected. A little surprise with Valgaeren coming back in. There was a real doubt about him in terms of an injury, but I'm sure Martin will be delighted to keep that back three together that have been so solid for him. And elsewhere it's pretty much as expected with Alan Thompson coming in.
And there's the team, I may say, an almost hero's welcome by the Celtic crowd for Harold Bratback as the man who stopped a certain club from boasting 10 in a row with a goal. Yeah,
it was quite a significant goal he scored, and as you say, it was a warm welcome that he got. I'm sure if he manages to score tonight, he won't get such a good reception, but he's certainly a threat, and I think, you know, now that he's back at Rosenborg and the environment he's in tonight will suit him much better, where, you know, there may be areas for him to run into, because he's a player that likes the ball in front of him, and if he's given a chance, then he can certainly take it.
Well, I think the point was made tonight that although this team have that reputation in the past, great results, as we heard in the studio from Joe and Andy, but that was 5 years ago. In the last 15 European games, Celtic in that huddle there must realise that even though Harold Bratback is back, determined to prove that he was no laughing matter, in the last 15 games, Rosenborg have only won 2 European matches altogether, and so in that sense they themselves are up against it. Remember, they were very, very fortunate to take a point off Juventus, who dominated the entire game, getting that penalty, and again Bratback was at the centre of it. And you can hear in the background the inspirational sound of a Celtic support, as I said, highly expectant of a victory tonight, but they will also have to be very, very patient. Celtic realise that this team can counter very quickly. They have pacey players. Indeed, they brought into the side at number 2 Odd Inge Olsen, who can play as a fullback. They're going to play him wide on the right. He's very, very fast. There he is. He's going to consider that his technical zone tonight has got tighter walls than Bellini. He's not going to stray out of it at all. He's going to be a good boy. Well, so he said at the press conference yesterday. I think we'll see some animated leaps all the same. That was a free kick. Referee tonight is the Frenchman Alain Sarr, 40 years of age. Valgaeren. Now that's a good ball. Good space for Lambert. Getting into the box. Offside. Good run. Diagonal run there by Sutton.
Yeah, it wasn't a good start by Celtic. Sutton, as usual, getting a free kick in the middle of the pitch there, which initiated the Celtic attack. And we see there it's a tight decision, but I think just slightly offside.
Powerful player, one of the players for Celtic this season, Chris Sutton. You certainly want in your side, in this modern age against stout defences, a player who can physically intimidate you in the best sense of the word. Played away to the side there to Strand, who plays on the right-hand side of midfield. Solid player. 5 World Cup games he's played. There's Skammelserud, recovered from what he said of what was reported a broken nose, I don't think it was as bad as that. He didn't run into Niels Arne Eggen there, by the way. I think he's suffering from a little boil. Man who's been 40 years with the club, player and coach. Well, that was Harold trying to trap the ball, somewhat reminiscent of 1 or 2 that we saw when he played in the green and white hoops. Free kick. Looks like this will be taken by Yanni Saarinen himself. Right back on the left-hand side of it. In fact, the Bradback who'll take this. Celtic really ought to defend this very well, given the height that they have in the penalty area. It's Salois one, and Lennon was there. Little tip run the side, that's a good tackle. So often we see this man do that. Might not be the paciest player in midfield, but his judgment is very sound. Corner kick. Once again, I think it'll be Bradback who goes out there, and Celtic will leave only this man, Henrik Larsson, upfield. Everybody else back inside the Celtic penalty area. One thing he must not do is lose an early goal. Way to that far post, well away. Balde was up. He's going to let fly, and he does. And I think that could have been an offside given. It wasn't. The man who touched it last there is Sigurd Rushfeldt. Watch the shot coming in here.
Yeah, it's good play by Celtic. They cleared the penalty box very quickly, and even if Rushfeldt had been onside, such was the pace that he had to come out to beat offside that I don't think he would have been able to do anything with it.
Yes, and that man is only at Rosenborg until the turn of the year. He's on loan from Racing Santander in Spain. Well, Valgaeren has made a very good recovery. Touched away there by Erik Hoftun. 32 years of age, Hoftun. I think what you'll find, Billy, is, I don't think they're the team they were 5 years ago, but they will be organised and athletically very strong.
Yeah, well, they're still playing the same system as Joe Jordan pointed out to the national side, and it's one that they've perfected over the years. When they get the opportunity to go forward, it will be a 4-3-3, and when they have to defend, Bradback on the one side and Olsen on the other, will just filter back into the middle of the pitch and match Celtic's 5 midfield players. Good
control by Sutton. Agathe going inside. Oh, he didn't go forward quickly enough. He gave the intention and the impression that he would do that, and he held back for some reason. Well, you can hear the crowd, they're liking this. Good link up. Thompson. And forward, and just beyond Larsson. Now Agathe just away. That could have gone anywhere. He fired it in like a pinball. It could have ricocheted into the back of the net.
Yeah, good play by Celtic to keep the thing going. It was a great cross, I think, from Alan Thompson. Agathe fills that area well, and I think he did the right thing just to try and make sure he kept it low and give one of the other Celtic teammates a chance to get it on target, but unfortunately it was the Rosenborg defender who cleared it.
Well, could they buckle under this intense pressure? Around the stadium, the crowd volatile and expressive, and in that penalty area, determined looking Celtic forward line. Well picked up. Petrov. Mjallby. Look where Thompson has popped up, getting out to that left foot of his. Sutton turns on it. He almost got through. Now Bradback. The prodigal returns. Well, this is what they're trying to do, counter-attack. That seemed to me like a fairly reasonable tackle. That's good interception by Valgaeren. And the French referee, forgetting the entente cordiale and the older lines, gives what seems to be or makes a rather silly decision there. Bring them back. Free kick. The ball was dead and quickly taken. Certainly a very brisk opening 7 minutes. Balde. Petrov. Larsson. Just a little pirouette that wasn't well judged. Look at the immense work that this man does. Lambert. Beautiful ball. Sutton with it. Gets support from Thompson. That's the left foot in action again, and that's cool defending. Played out there by Olsen. He'll judge there. Agathe should be behind it. Pressure still on. This time Lennon. Look at the curl in that. The play swinging one side to the other. But as I said about this team, they've been under intense pressure in some of the most famous stadiums in Europe. And that's a very positive factor. You've players, you know, who've been blooded in all kinds of situations. Anyway, Agathe. Has he got the pace to go for it himself? He's going to let fly. Once again, the captain, Hoftun, right in the middle of that. 32 years of age. He's played 30 European games at this level. That's an indication of how well he judges space.
I think it was the Rosenborg defence caught unawares there of Agathe's pace and the right idea to have a shot, because although Henrik Larsson made his way to the far post, he was well marked, and I don't think the shot was quite on target, but it's a game that, a part of his game, Agathe, that I think he can definitely improve, just the composure when he gets into the last third.
Well, Chris Sutton looking quite aggrieved about something. There's a goalkeeper. One of the two foreigners they have in the side, Arason from Iceland. Well, they got out of that situation very well. Rosenborg, and eventually cleared by Basma. Oh, Mjallby kept his eye on that. He has to. Sigurd Rushfeld's a big, powerful player, built something like Sutton. Oh, it should have been laid to the side very quickly, and that's the player I was talking about. Mjallby knows the danger there. Read it very quickly. Just flicked away, and look at the pace of Petrov. Yes, that was obstruction, free kick. What an immense season he's had. One of the most powerful takers, explosive takers of a free kick, of course. I think the Norwegians have settled down now. They were really under fire in the last 5 minutes. They've drawn a little breath. Celtic must keep the pressure going. Must say Berg, who got his head in there, has been all over the field. Here's the captain. They're linking up. This is the man I'm talking about. Well, no run forward by Harold Bradback. There he is. Berg, one of the older players in the team. In fact, I think he's the oldest, just almost 34.
I think talking about the experience factor, obviously, you know, the age thing can work against you, but the experience is something that you can't buy, and I think they're showing that at this stage in the game. Rosenborg, they are prepared to get players forward whenever they get the opportunity. At one stage there, when the header was one in the middle of the pitch, they had a 2 for 2, so Celtic need to be very careful.
Oh, good tackling again. Petrov, quite outstanding. He's so mobile, he can go from defence to attack so quickly. There he is again, mopping up a great deal in midfield. Larsson has drifted away to the left. That'll be a free kick in a very interesting situation too. And surely the Norwegians have watched some videos recently of how lethal Celtic can be in this area.
Yeah, I think Alan Thompson was very clever there, the way he received the ball. There was no way that the sliding tackle could have won the ball there, and it's resulted in a free kick in a dangerous area.
Swung in there, and the goalkeeper can't get to it. Well, brilliantly cleared again. Rushfeldt was back there. Hails for a penalty. The referee said that came off the chest. Irate Celtic supporters at the back of the goal were up immediately. That's not a bad ball played inside. And that's exactly what they were talking about in the studio. Joe and Andy, the vicious and very swift counter-attack. Odd Inge Olsen, again, certainly brought into this game. There's a goalkeeper going for that. There was the appeal for hands.
Yeah, I think it was worth a shout, but I think the referee maybe got it right there. But the pace of the counter-attack, definitely something that Celtic should be very respectful of.
Rushfeldt was at the heart of that. Oh, it's brilliant play. Yes, that's a free kick. Lambert refused to give up. How tenacious he can be in it. Almost produced something worthwhile. Thompson, just a little bit obvious. I honestly think Celtic will miss Bobby Petter tonight. And Martin O'Neill was saying at his press conference just that he likes width. Well, certainly Thompson gives him width. That left foot of his hugging the touchline, but not nearly as penetrating. Sutton. Patience. That is a virtue in this situation. Great turning by Petrov. Agathe. Balde suddenly popped up there, not the best of balls forward. Played to Berg. There's the break. Alan Thompson trying to cover. Johnsen. This is Skammelserud. Very experienced player, a lot of pushing going on there. Certainly again had his jersey pulled now. Henrik Larsson! Most unlike him. He lost control when he looked in his most dangerous situation there. While the referee thinks that was a push. Look at Larsson, beautifully poised. Normally, he's very dangerous, and I think might have been the studs that caught the turf.
Yeah, I think he just took a touch that he didn't want to take there, but it was a marvellous run from Sutton to open up the area for Larsson to run into, and I was fully expecting to see him finish with a shot there.
Here's Berg. Berg. He's almost in there. Crowded out. Good move by Berg. First time we've seen him in any positive frame of mind in this game. Going forward, Saarinen. Little ball forward and offside. Chipped in there by Skammelserud. Oh, they've shown already, Billy, they can be very mobile and very quick crossing the halfway line towards the Celtic half.
Yeah, and we see the chance that they created there, and certainly it was offside, but it was a wee bit dodgy for Celtic to try and play offside there because he had time to lift his head, and really it was poor play by the Norwegian. He could really easily have beaten the offside trap there.
Brought down there by Rushfeldt. Flying very deep. Here's Basma. Oh, right through the centre of that Celtic defence, and that was a brilliant run forward. They have pace coming from the back, there's no doubt about it.
I think we see the value there of the three front players. It's not often that you see gaps between that Celtic back three, and the front three players are pulling them about a wee bit and creating space for people to get into.
Bradback delayed that very well indeed. He does have pace. Bradback still cutting in there. I think he was appealing to the referee. He might have been impeded at the end, but Celtic now on the counter-attack. Agathe had to hesitate. They had 3 men coming back to crowd him.
I think we've seen enough from the Norwegians so far to tell us why they have a good record in the Champions League. They're assured and confident and know what they're about, and it may turn out to be a difficult night for Celtic if they can't get that breakthrough.
Well, I think they'll try and create frustration. They realise that could easily happen. Picked up by Lambert. What we saw in Kharine 3 weeks ago, the growing of self-belief in the Celtic side, not intimidated by the reputation of Mjallby. It's grown since then, playing a different kind of team, and that's just offside. Well, I'll tell you, Harold Brattbakk is beginning to loiter on this left-hand side with intent. He almost got away with that.
Again, it was good play, and Harold Brattbakk came in off the line to try and get through narrowly, and luckily for Celtic, the referee has given the free kick against.
Easily to the captain this time, Brattbakk. Well, that was good play by Agathe. He saw the danger. Balde looks eager to come forward tonight. I think his distribution has to be more accurate than that, though. They'll turn the tables very quickly if they get the ball in that situation. Thompson. Too many of these passes going astray. Picked up by the captain again, Hoftun. Here's the counter-attack. Wasn't a good pass forward now. Hoftun has come forward, creating a gap right in the middle of the defence. Can Larsson exploit it? Here he goes. Feels for that. Is it a free kick? It is indeed. And it's a yellow card as well for that. Now, what a situation for Celtic this is. All derived from this run forward here.
Great driving play from Larsson and then Petrov, and just managed to get the vital touch which resulted in the free kick, and this is one that certainly Henrik Larsson is usually very deadly with.
Well, I don't know if they're vying with each other as to who'll take this or not, because as we well know and other goalkeepers know, Petrov has been in deadly form in this situation. They may touch it to the side, they may go for it directly.
I think the run that Petrov's on in terms of scoring from free kicks, they would be well advised to leave it to him.
Also Thompson. There's Thompson with it. He's done it. Celtic have opened the scoring. 20 minutes gone. There were several options open to them, and Thompson with that left foot of his found the gap. And it's surprising, it looked a very tight defensive wall, and yet it got through.
Yeah, it was very poor defensive play. The wall was set up. The goalkeeper's obviously relying on them to protect that side of the goal, and they've just jumped a wee bit and shifted their leg, and Alan Thompson's found the gap beautifully, and it's given Celtic a goal which maybe this part of the game is not quite merited.
But Celtic are now 1 up, which would add to the confidence. That's a decent ball played in as well. Agathe. Look at the pace of this man. He has a stride of an Olympic athlete, and sometimes when he gets away like that, looks one of the most dangerous players in the game. Rosenborg trying to come back into it. I think he'll be annoyed about the defending. I mean, that was a very tight defensive wall.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least it looked tight.
Yeah, I mean, they were set up okay, but it's really when they struck the ball, you have to expect your defenders to hold their ground in that wall and take the ball whenever it comes at them, and they didn't do that.
Larsson. Lambert picks it up. Well, the solidity of Celtic's midfield, I think, is the basis of all the free running and the confidence of the players up front. Like Sutton here, like Larsson. He wants a little touchback, he doesn't get it. Hoftun played that very well. And there always is that extra Celtic player in there. Good touch by Sutton. Now played here to this very busy little player, Berg. And Celtic give the impression of simply outnumbering this side in midfield. Shout of warning from the Celtic supporters there as that ball was played just a little bit loosely and slackly by Paul Lambert. He did get it away eventually. Slow build up at the back by Celtic. There's absolutely nothing wrong in playing the game that way. Petrov. All credit to Petrov, by the way, for the run that caused the free kick in the first place. Agathe. Well, when he's in the mood to be simple and direct and aggressive like that, he can really cause confusion in defence. He really did disturb them there. Yeah,
Saarinen's not really learned his lesson. He opened up the inside of the pitch there to Agathe. I don't think he's quite come to terms with Agathe's pace yet, because if he does that, the end result that we saw there is exactly what will happen. He'll use his pace to get by him and cause problems.
Alan Thompson to take this. Not the best of corner kicks. And rather surprisingly, nobody coming in to challenge that ball at the near post. No Celtic player anyway. Mjallby. How well Sutton defends the ball like that. Look at the space they're giving this man, and a gap. Offside. But I think ominously for the Norwegians, Celtic are now beginning to find gaps that certainly weren't appearing up to that free kick.
It's the link-up play between Sutton and Larsson again, and Didier Agathe just slightly offside, but we see the goal again there, and really, you know, Arne Eggen will be absolutely furious with his defenders for letting that one through. It's almost middle goal by the time it goes in the net, and really that shouldn't get through a defensive wall.
Right back. Can't control it properly. Well, I had one little spot. Beautifully laid on. Lambert. Celtic really flowing into action this time. Thompson. Oh, it almost paid off. Brilliantly conceived move. Last little touch letting them down. This is about pace, and Mjallby has that. Really is a very good sound game of football by both sides. I think certainly the Norwegians exposed to that free kick, but they've shown how cleverly they can come forward and with pace. Larsson gets a break that time. He has Sutton inside. I think he wants more support than that. Picked up by Balde. Ooh, he almost blew it that time. Just a little bit too casual. Rushfeldt. Well, he's been very close to Rushfeldt, trying to pin him down. Mjallby again trying that longer ball to Sutton. He's been doing that regularly. There's free kick. It was late, and Lennon complaining about that. Well, I think the trailing foot caught him. I think the Norwegian players' momentum more than anything else caused that. It goes inside, and once again Petrov's there. He really does cover a immense acreage of this ground.
Yeah, he's the all-round midfield, modern midfield player, Petrov. I think, you know, it's been highlighted in recent weeks with his goals, but I think he really has everything that's needed in the modern day game to go right to the top. And of course, you know, he is playing at the top in Champions League terms right now, and it was a diagonal ball there which can cause Celtic problems.
Douglas, once again he slips with that cross ball. Just got it away, Celtic. And too many hoop jerseys in there for the Norwegians. Well, that came out of virtually nothing. And that should be cleared, Balde, but not effectively brought back. His control wasn't all that great. And nobody inside for Rosenborg. Here's a counter-attack. Well, Rod Douglas apologising to his defence for that. Now plenty of space here. Valgaeren desists from making that run forward. Well, they might be one up. Here's a lovely little ball put through to Sutton. Wants to take it himself. Agathe. Final ball isn't there again. Hoftun's been outstanding clearing the balls like that. Thompson didn't control that well enough. I think the system is based on the national side, rightly enough, but I think it's more a passing game. They desist from the longer ball. Look at the way Lennon's coming in here. Right back. Well, he couldn't lay it off to anybody. As I said, we were talking to the Norwegian journalists who think that Rosenborg tend to play more a passing game than the long ball game. I think that's been shown clearly tonight. Yeah,
I mean, they can certainly mix it up a wee bit. They can play the long ball, but Harold Bratback's got into one or two areas and showed good composure until the final pass, and that's a wee worry to Celtic at the moment.
Here he comes himself. Still in the danger area. And that was a really severe collision right in the middle of the penalty area, and it will go in Celtic's favour. Shaking and getting on with it. Two very hard Scandinavians together there. There's a challenge, and I think it was his posterior that really caught him at the end.
I think he had too big a distance to cover to make a legitimate challenge for the ball, but certainly in the penalty area you can expect that type of challenge, and quite correctly the referee's given a free kick.
Well, there he is, just one little break. He had hardly anything of the ball against Porter, and yet scored the goal that really mattered. That's the invaluable asset of a player who can be out of the match for so long, but shows that he hasn't lost a scoring touch as a result. There's Larsson again, having to come deep. Thompson try to poke that through, and free kick this time. This will be in a good position for Celtic. They could yet fire this straight a goal. They have that option. A little discussion there between them. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Petrov really goes for this, Billy.
Yeah, I think they favour the in-swinging free kick, and either Thompson or Petrov.
Thompson again with it. Cleared by the striker who's come away back, Sigurd Rushfeldt. Here's a counter-attack. Well read there by Valgaeren. Got to be very, very careful. The two men, it was 2 and 2. Rushfeldt tried to get a nap. Lambert. It's offside, a couple of yards, I think. No complaint. Chris Sutton has already told the English management he's not at all interested in playing for the national side again. Remember the last time we were here, Billy, he was being watched by Sven-Goran Eriksson. And I think it's probably right to do that. Put the emphasis on playing for this club.
Yeah, I mean, I think that night he had a difficult match, although he did well against Costa, the Portuguese captain, a very strong defender, but he held his end up very well. It wasn't his best game. He's certainly been in great form since the start of the season, Chris Sutton, and I think tonight he's continued that.
Careful watching of that ball there, just pulled down by Basma. Here's a captain again, he's fond of coming forward. Picked up by Skammelserud. Agathe gets it now. Larsson, he gives a signal to Agathe to get inside. Sutton wants that ball played into him. He was never going to get there. There was the pace of the run forward by Sutton, but just not enough.
I think you see the awareness of Henrik Larsson there when he picked the ball up. He immediately knew he didn't have the required support. It was only Chris Sutton, and he was pleading with Didier Agathe to get forward and try and get into a threatening position.
That was Basma pushing it on. Well brought down. Powerful covering there by Lennon again, mopping it up. If he's not there, Lambert does it. Tremendous combination. Look at the space here. Got support from Lambert. Petrov. Thompson, just a little bit obvious again. Simply doesn't have that accelerating burst that Bobby Pedder has in these situations. Here's Skammelserud. Basma. Hoftun. Wanting the run forward, Celtic backtracking. Picked up by Saarinen. Lot of Corbinet. I think that will be a goal kick. Yes, it is. An interesting build-up again by the Norwegians, complaining to the referee about that. Well, they're pretty mobile, and although they haven't bothered Robert Douglas, apart from that almost self-inflicted one when he slipped as he went for it, there's variety in the play.
Very much so. I think there's a very good mix. The midfield players, you know, whilst they don't really have the legs, they're in the later stages of their careers, but they're all composed and they can, you know, keep possession of the ball and pick out the front players who definitely have a bit of pace.
Agathe, beautifully controlled there by Larsson. They're plying Agathe with the ball now. Just a bit unfortunate. Gets to that left side of Thompson. Petrov tries to flick it back to him. Well, that's simply a gift to the Celtic defence, putting it high like that to Balde. Kharine. Just a little bit obvious the way they played it forward. I think there might be a free kick for that challenge. As I said, Martin O'Neill was giving the Belgian FA pelters yesterday because of Valgaeren state, but seems to have made a very good recovery. Agathe trying to do the defensive work on this side. They're being hemmed in, cleverly hemmed in by Celtic, and then simply give the ball away. Wasted move. A little gem of a nutmeg there. Plays it too much, spoils it for that. Pass, I think he tried, wanted to play by the outside of his right foot. I think he got the inside of it. But this is delicacy. Lacing it there. What a pattern. Lambert. How vital that goal was coming at that stage for Celtic. Certainly cannot be complacent, but it's given them that vital bridgehead, and they're playing like it. Lots of deep touches like that. Larsson, a little bit unfortunate that time. Oh, the ball given away. Poor play there by Inge Olsen. Balde simply stabbed it away anywhere. That wasn't a good ball. Basma has a superb ball forward. Can it be played inside? It can. The final pass letting them down, and once again a Celtic defence that can always sum it up. That extra body to negate that. Roar of anticipation every time this man gets the ball now. And could it be something dramatic? No! Wrong side of Sutton. Pressure still on though. Thompson just away from Larsson. Well, Agathe is doing what he signally failed to do in the first half against Porto, and that's to put the head down and go at this defence. He has the control and the pace to do exactly that.
Yeah, it was tremendous play by Agathe, and maybe just delayed the ball across the goal a fraction because Chris Sutton had obviously read it and just got in just a wee touch too early. But you know, that's the type of threatening play that Agathe has produced since he's come to Celtic.
Olsen. Well, he presented a gift to Mjallby there. Not the best of play by Rochefeld. Whipped away by Mjallby, and I think a quite accidental collision. Doesn't mess about, this big fella. Well, he got an elbow, but I think the Norwegian player simply couldn't stop himself coming through it. He now knows what it is to hit a brick wall in doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was completely accidental. I think just his momentum carried him through into Mjallby. Mjallby, as usual, very committed and made sure that the ball was going to be his, and quite prepared to take the knock in doing so.
Sutton chesting it again. Five minutes remaining of this first half. Balde dominated, almost paid off. There's any dubiety about where the ball is going to end up in midfield when Celtic are under pressure. If it's near Lambert or Lennon, as we saw in the last few seconds, they'll get something out of it. And I think Petrov was perfectly entitled to go for that. The young Bulgarian captain is in the mood to let fly from almost any distance.
Yeah, and with his record, he's quite entitled to, but I think he wasn't quite set up to hit that one there. Being closed down quickly, and I think maybe just a wee bit of tiredness and the decision to have a hit.
Well, Hoftun's been outstanding in defence for the Norwegians. He had to be. Could have been a cricket score by now if he hadn't made the right interventions. Once again, the interesting break. Too much now. Balde got to it. Lennon tries to get round in that defensive position. Well, Berg got into a little bit of a fangle. This is going to be a shot at goal. Just got that away. Referee waving play on. Here's the break. Not a Celtic player in their half, and now Agathe is fast, but is he as fast as all that? I don't know what Balde was thinking about there. He took off 1.5 seconds in front of the ball coming to him.
Yeah, he's an intimidating presence, and sometimes, you know, when he makes his mind up to go, even if he's missing it, it puts the other player off.
Well, Celtic eager to take it. I think that exemplifies the spirit, the way that Sutton rushed in to get that. Well, the last game he was up in the stand, kicking people all around him. He said the centre stand people are delighted he's back to where he truly belongs. Lambert with it. Played that well once again, mopped up, as I said, either by Lennon, as it was there, or by Lambert. Mjallby. Well, Balde suddenly popping up in that position. He's way out. Look at the determination of the Celtic side, equalled by the Norwegians. That was very congested, almost a knot of players, and in a fankel they got out of it and got the better of it. Well, Rushfeldt, a little bit of a slip by Rushfeldt, and free kick. Man doing the applauding there is the captain, Hoftun. French referee giving that. Flying Olsen on the far side. Now Johnsen. Not the best of clearances. Berg. Well, Mjallby made amends that time. Oh, the fighting, I mean, you would have expected Sutton to be well downfield, but he gets back into midfield, fights for that, and takes it away. That's the time we have left. Balde, on he goes on the run. Well, I think Celtic would have budgeted to score in this first half. Celtic got out of it that way, and the forward pass badly judged. Douglas, 1 minute of stoppage time reported, 1 minute. Petrov again, a start in his game. Larsson. Oh, superb play that time by Basma. Good technical control when they break like this. Here's the captain, Hoftun. Brad back. Balde taking him on and wins. And I think Harold got out of the way of that clearance pretty quickly. Well, as you said, Billy, Harold Bradback has taken up one or two interesting positions, but he's lacking a bit of devil about his play tonight.
I think Balde's maybe intimidating him a wee bit.
Goes to the outside, and once again Lennon breaks it up. Now, Petrov. He has on the outside Henrik Larsson. But the half-time whistle goes. No time for that counter-attack. Celtic Park rise in acclamation of a very professional performance by Celtic, putting the pressure on, getting that invaluable lead from this free kick. The defence looked as if it were tight enough, but he put it right through the eye of the needle.
Yeah, it was a timely goal for Celtic, and I thought at the time that Rosenborg were well in the game, but since they scored the goal, I think Celtic have showed a real measure of control in the match, and they'll certainly look to, you know, bury Rosenborg in the second half.
There we are, Jim, in a game that falls into the must-win category if they want to stay in this competition in any meaningful way. Celtic are halfway to actually proving that they are by far the better side. Half-time score, Celtic 1, Rosenborg 0. Yes, there is a kind of celebratory mood inside the stadium, but I know maybe looking at the back of people's minds exactly what Joe and Andy have been saying. This team have played with a very impressive technical expertise, especially on the break, with a very fast passing game that demands respect, and it's certainly not all over yet. A quick goal by Celtic, and I think we could, with great confidence, predict the outcome of this game as we start the second half. Nevertheless, Celtic themselves have been on the receiving end, even though they are deservedly in the lead, on the receiving end of some quick counter-attacking, and they will be well aware of that. There's a lot of hard work to come in this next 45 minutes.
Yeah, very much so. Rosenborg showed in the first half that they do have capabilities in attack, and I think it was Joe pointed out that just in the final third they let themselves down a wee bit, but they're certainly prepared to get bodies forward. And such is the format of the Champions League that they know that they'll come away here with nothing at all if they don't get a goal back.
Clicked away there. There's indeed a long way to go in the Champions League itself. Another 2 games to be played, of course, after this one. It's actually turning out to be a very good group, very tight group. And this, an excellent game of football, contrasting styles. Looked away by that excellent captain, Hoftun. Valgaeren. Thompson just a little bit slow picking that one up. Been impressed by this man, Skammelserud, and also number 7. Berg. They're mobile, they're involved, very alert when they're coming forward. That's the one I was talking about, Berg. Getting in there very quickly again, and good tackling. Agathe, bit of a race on here. The goalkeeper decides to stay in his goal. Does that very well. The Icelandic goalkeeper, 12 times he's played for his country. That could get through, it almost is. Good anticipation by Robert Douglas, who had that fluff in the first half. Not quite sure nobody said anything to him about that. He knows himself, any repetition and his side could suffer. Larsson trying to stab that towards Agathe again. Well, the goalkeeper certainly knows how to deal with that situation. That's a great interception there by the captain. There he is again. Virtually wins every ball it goes to like that. Look at the pace of Petrov. He's fouled again, pulled down, and they find it very difficult to assess this man at all and know how to cope with him.
Yeah, it's driving play from Petrov, and so often the player's committed and he ends up getting the free kick.
Sutton. Can the twosome put it together here? They can't this time. Arason, the goalkeeper's already been very busy. They don't like the look of that man across there, Agathe. On a 1-to-1, if they leave it to a 1-to-1 and don't give it any support for this player there, they'll suffer like this. Can he get that over? He can. Little slip there as he went for it. But since the start of the game, this man has been pestering their defence.
Yeah, and we saw how important he was to Celtic in the later stages in the last game against Porto here, where when Celtic were under the cosh a wee bit, that ball up into that right hand corner, and Didier Agathe so often got them a corner out and took the pressure off.
Hoftun puts it away. He always finds somebody in space. There's a run. That's not a bad run forward, but there's the cover again. Celtic, we know, basically a team very difficult to penetrate in defence. We've seen that recently. Free kick.
I think that's been a feature of the game. Number 6, Strand, has made some runs from the area between Neil Lennon and Alan Thompson, and he's definitely a danger and a threat going beyond the front players at times.
Hoftun away with it, remains remarkably cool under pressure. And Balde, good anticipation, fierce in the way he comes towards the ball like that. He really attacks anything. Well, the maturity of this young player now is really immense. I mean, you're watching Stilian Petrov, who's come on, I think, by about 3 years in performance in the last season. Just flicked away. Valgaeren could have done better than that, I think. Well, the big Belgian international was a little bit worried. He went across, was on the bench when Belgium played the last international, but did aggravate his knee. Nicely touched away by Lennon. Here's the run forward. It's about pace. Larsson, can he put it away? No. I think it all ends in either a free kick or a goal kick there. Maybe the slow-mo will show us it as Saarinen came in. Yes, it hit Larsson last.
Yeah, I had to make up ground very quickly there.
Saarinen, the man going in, that was Hoftun, in fact, who got the tackle, and the captain.
I have to say, actually, he's been immense tonight, Hoftun, yeah.
And I think he's suffering. He may have taken it in the ribs. Well, if he's going to go off and take no further part, and he's in agony at the moment, I think the balloon is up for this side, because he has held them together. He really has bolted that defence fiercely together with his interceptions and great reading of the game.
Yeah, Norwegian international who has been with Rosenborg through the glory of the mid-90s, certainly ageing a bit now, but he showed even there that he still has the determination to get back and make sure that Henrik Larsson's task wasn't going to be an easy one.
Well, it looks as if he might recover from this. They have to have that statutory period when they go off. Look at the pace of Larsson. That's a great interception. A little bit unfortunate, Larsson. He didn't get the ricochet coming to him properly.
Yeah.
See, touches there, and he can't stop himself.
It was a magnificent play by Hoftun. He actually got a foot to the ball, and it was a dangerous challenge because of the fact that Larsson was clean through and goal.
One of the players of the night, no doubt about that. He and Petrov, to my mind, at this stage would be vying for that.
I think Paul Lambert's had a marvellous game as well. He obviously is one that doesn't give possession away, but
it's all about opinions.
Yep.
Alan Thompson. Hovering well there, Petrov. Well, he did well enough to get some space to do that, because that has been a very tight defence. Little gift there to Valgaeren. Well, they tried to work constructively out of defence. That's a good sign for them.
Yeah, I mean, since the start of the second half, they've pushed their three front players right on. They're working right along that Celtic back line, and they're prepared to really have a go here.
Played inside, and I think Lennon might just get there. Great inside for sensing the danger. Go to Celtic. Once again, I think patience is the predominant virtue here. There's a runaway. Balde's there. It was 2-on-2 there, and that looked dangerous. Rushfeldt. Oh, he's not the strongest player. Somebody told me he was going to be very strong again, but he's lost so many tackles. Counter-attack now, Valgaeren, Thompson, and eventually Petrov. Yes, Celtic blessed by a midfield that is hard work and creative. Balde once again trying to find Sutton with that high ball. Here's a counter-attack. Move the ball about well. The referee eventually has to stop the play. There's no doubt about that. It was a late tackle by Lennon.
I think it was the right decision. He tries to play advantage.
I think he was letting the advantage go, Billy.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Strand was desperately trying to keep the move going, but just had lost his balance.
10 minutes of the second half gone. And the referee is lecturing Bent Andre Skammelserud. He wanted the Celtic defenders further back. There's the great Harold, or Harold the Great. And it goes, it was Lennon who got up there. This free kick goes Celtic's way. Agathe having to come back, attacking that penalty area. It's one of the fundamental reasons of the Celtic success. They're simply a very difficult team to penetrate. They defend well.
Well, again, we saw it in the
I
Porto
thought that
game.
was 6 1/2 a dozen.
It was a bit, yeah, a bit fortunate to get the free kick, but we saw it against Porto where they really are equipped to deal with that type of thing, where they can defend their penalty box with high balls coming in there.
Played back there by Berg. Very much like Petrov on the other side. He's popping up everywhere in midfield. Right back waiting for the run forward. The overlap comes. Little touch inside and broken up by Mjallby. Here's the break. Free kick, that'll be over exuberant. Still Petrov, they take it quickly. Berg can't get the shot in. And that's the kind of defending we saw in the last 20 minutes against Porto. Everybody backs to the wall at the moment. They'll put the ball out of play. Player down injured at the moment.
Certainly problems for Celtic just now, because with Rosenborg keeping their front three, is forcing either Alan Thompson or Didier Agathe to come back and play as a fullback. And on one occasion there, the three central defenders decided to hold the line. Alan Thompson ran away in with his man and therefore was playing everybody onside, so they really need to be careful, Celtic.
Well, certainly stilled the crowd there for the last 5 minutes, the way they were flooding forward. As I said in the first half, a great deal of variety to the moves, and it is a passing game they play. They tend to spurn the long ball, which was the characteristic of Norwegian football in the main, certainly the national side.
I think with the three front players again stretching Celtic, they're getting some good interpassing in the middle of the park, where they're getting a midfield player forward between the midfield and the front, Archie. And as I say, a wee bit worrying for Celtic. They do have the capability, as I say, but we need to try and get Agathe further forward and do what he's been best at since he's signed for the club.
Back it goes to Arnie Arason. Strand waiting to come on. He's not looking all that mobile at the moment, though. Treading very gingerly. Getting a little bit of space on either side. Can he touch it back? He can. There's the defender coming out again. They read it well. On that occasion, Mjallby. Overdone. There's a little touch forward. Valgaeren. If it's not Mjallby, it's Valgaeren. If it's not he, it's Balde. The last line defending by Celtic, clinical and professional, and must be exasperating for the Norwegians who put together some lovely movement. Balde. Here's Thompson. Yes, that'll be a free kick. Rather clumsy there. It exasperates Martin O'Neill. Olsen going down. Order Inge Olsen. Played in the Champions League for Molde, the other Norwegian side, and down he goes there. Captain Hoftun's recovered well. Now, could this be the counter-attack? Swept away there by Lennon. Just lost the balance, composure and poise in midfield at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be well served Celtic to just try and keep a wee bit of possession and take the sting out of the game just now, because the Norwegians certainly have territorial advantage.
Well, Agathe did well. He kept his eye on the ball. That was the main thing there. Johnsen trying a little bit of trickery on the far side. Well, Berg touched it all right, but nobody supporting. Held on to it well, Sutton. Well, it's not just a case of strength when he takes a ball like that, but it's the skill he has in laying it off to others. Might be a little bit, wee bit anxious at the moment. They've had a lot of the play, rather reminiscent of the last 20 minutes against Porto. Yeah,
and I think we see by the fact that Celtic's front two players, Larsson and Sutton, are not getting much of the ball just now, and they're so important to them in terms of getting them up the pitch.
Johnsen puts it forward, outnumbered again. Good defensive qualities there. A free kick. Johnsen going in far too heavily. Make it about 17 minutes of the second half gone. Celtic still leading by 1-0. Really does get involved in a lot of arm wrestling. This time with Johnsen, who was claiming Sutton was backing into him. Oh, there's the jersey holding there. So the goal scorer, Alan Thompson, with the free kick again. It's a great save. On the tip of my tongue to say there's Larsson putting it away, and he knows he should have. I wonder if there was just the slightest delay.
Well, it was a deft flick from Chris Sutton, and so often in that situation we've seen Larsson dink the ball over the goalkeeper into the net. That time he maybe rushed a wee bit and tried to force the ball home.
Thompson might just take this right away. Agathe was facing him. This will be a goal kick. Well, we've been saying that they've had a lot of the play, there's no question about it, but that the ineffable skills there of both Sutton and eventually Larsson might have paid off for them, even though, as you said, Billy, they haven't been getting too much of the ball in this first 18 minutes of this half.
But that's the type of thing that will take the pressure off the defence. If they get it up to Sutton, he can win a free kick for them, and as we see there, create a chance from a set piece.
Johnsen. Well, they should get that. Reasonable cleanse. Look at the way he can quickly go in for a ball. Well, whenever there's that little piece of danger there, and the last line defence isn't there, you get the figure of Neil Lennon popping up. Olsen. Valgaeren goes with him, and Olsen rather gave up the ghost there. Thompson just a little bit lumbering. Degree of uncertainty in his play. The way they can run into space. That wasn't the best ball forward though. Well, to Celtic in fact. Well, Rosenborg, as I said, have only got 2 foreigners in the squad. They've been building up, as this man knows only too well, a reputation by getting local lads in and then selling them on. Lost John Carew, of course, to Valencia. But have really replaced him. That's why Rushfeldt's in the side. And a lot of hard toil going on in that midfield at the moment. That engine room almost overheating. 20 minutes gone of this. And it looks as if Guppy might be making an appearance here. May not be all that happy with Alan Thompson at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think if we remember correctly, they took him off in the Porto game. And I think Guppy's certainly coming on. It looks like Alan Thompson, yeah.
Well, he's played his part. Celtic supporters acknowledging that as he goes off. And on comes Guppy. Well, Steve Guppy on that left-hand side can feed the ball right across the field. He's a good left foot. As I said, I think they're missing Bobby Pettit tonight. Here's Guppy, his first touch. Lennon giving that little bit of support, as he inevitably does. Larsson trying to go on the outside. Once again they break. Just too much of that ball played forward. Disappointment in the face of Strand. Celtic with a counter-attack. Intelligent play by Lambert. Is he going through on his own? Here's Larsson. Couldn't quite get in. Guppy didn't bring it down swiftly enough. Moving the ball about well, little danger man Berg, and a great tackle from Agathe, whose defensive qualities are sometimes overlooked. Certainly weren't there. Free kick, clumsy tackle by Ole Basma. It's a man who played in all the 6 Champions League games last season. Clattering in from the back. Might be just a little bit too far out for the inevitable strike at goal, the direct strike at goal.
I think he was quite clever there, Henrik Larsson. I think he was looking for the free kick.
Well, it appears that there was a pulling down of Sutton there, but the referee was only about 6 yards away from it. Didn't buy the appeal. Picked up with the greatest of ease there by Neil Lennon. Celtic now trying to surge forward. Valgaeren. Sutton lays it off beautifully. Petrov. Agathe. They're flooding into the penalty area. Agathe, what's the final ball going to be like? It's a beauty, and it's touched away. This time it was Basma who got his head to it. And the 9 times Norwegian international, like his captain Hoftun, has a real feeling for defensive positioning in that area. Danger on again. Well, now would kill this game as Sutton gets up for it. It's always in there though.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult to defend against Celtic with the physical presence that they have. I think that'll be a relief to Rosenborg to get the free kick there. I think sometimes referees look to do that, give the defensive side the benefit of the doubt.
Balde puts it down. Good play again by Basma. Basma and Hoftun outstanding. Difficult to judge which has had the better game tonight for the team. I think Hoftun. There's Berg. Big little turn to the side, and there's the ball of Balde. Really get that defensive quality, that tight defensive situation. Right in the middle. That'll be a free kick, I think. Well, you know, you can say all you like, Billy, about what is required in any kind of football, especially at this level, but defending like that is absolutely essential.
Yeah, it was Balde that got the block, and that's where he really comes into his own. But we have so many bodies round about the ball whenever a team gets near that central area, Celtic, and we've seen 2 or 3 vital blocks tonight when it looks as if it was a scoring opportunity.
20 minutes left. Swept across there by Skammelserud. Back. Full dab forward. This time Hoftun with balance and poise. Not panicking. They've got 1 point, and if it stays like this, I think they can count themselves out of this competition. That's why they have to go for it. That's slack though. Ball played just a little bit too quickly there by Johnsen. Guppy. Nobody's forward for Celtic. Certainly are defending deeply, maybe a little bit too deeply. That kind of forward pass won't do. So he'll take that, thank you very much.
I think they started the second half very well, Rosenborg. The sting's just been taken out of them a wee bit now, and I think the coach may be thinking of a change, getting some fresh legs on there.
It's a tired looking header forward there. Considering a hand is used there. Martin O'Neill off camera does a little angry pirouette. There's a certain amount of restraint to it. Gift there from Skammelserud. Guppy. Couldn't get that away. Over, loud shouts from the enclosure just in front of us that an arm had been used there. The referee just turning away from that. Well, that was a neat enough turn, but he lacked support. Lambert linking up well with Agathe. There's a little bit of pace to it again. That away well, really tied in knots, and then he slips it. It's a bit too obvious to Sutton that time. A lot of the play has flopped around Rushfeldt. Hasn't held on to the ball with any strength. That'll be a free kick. Might have come down there. That's the player I was talking about, Rushfeldt. Yes, we are getting a substitution now. It's Christian George who's going to come on for Harold Bradback. He's really played on the fringe of the game tonight. Gets a warm reception coming off. Not sure that the Celtic supporters could have survived a Harold Bradback miss in front of goal again.
Well, I think they could have survived a miss tonight, yeah.
One of these heart-stopping ones. Throw to Rosenborg. They really have to push forward. The ball played down the side. It's a decent one, and it's a corner kick. That was another very good move with the substitute, Christo George, coming in very quickly for that.
I think he had a chance to get it across the face of the goal there. He decided to try and get his right foot round it rather than the natural left foot on that side, and the Celtic player managed to get the crucial block.
Yeah, he's captain of the Norwegian under-21 side. Bit of a sprinter in athletics as well, and that's another corner. Well, Lambert was there complaining that it might have been a deflection for the goal kick. We have 15 minutes remaining. Good save by Douglas. Going to be no mishaps that time. Well, there was nobody back there, Dave, except the player who came in very quickly there, Saarinen. Balde has won everything in the air like that. Now Sutton. Well, this crowd supportive to the end, of course, for Celtic have not really had too much to worry about. I mean, they've been very impressive getting to the edge of the 18-yard line, but Celtic have been defending and counter-attacking like this. This is Guppy. A little bit of a slip, an unfortunate one there, or else Larsson was really away. Now Lambert, could he finish it off himself? He tries. He's still in there. Now Sutton. He'll let glass. What a save. It nearly knocked the goalkeeper out. Thunderbolt there. And he had to have courage to face up to Arason.
It was a tremendous strike. Paul Lambert did magnificently to win the ball. Goes to ground, Sutton gets on top of it. He's made his mind up, he's hitting a slight deflection, to be fair. I think that's what caught the goalkeeper out, but he obviously had to have the shot there, Chris Sutton. I think initially Paul Lambert was looking for a handball there, but quite clearly I think it struck Hoftun in the chest.
Well, you can, we talked about celebrations at half-time. I think looking away down the stadium, as he knows only too well, 14 minutes to go, which can be an eternity in football, and so much can happen in that time, but there's a feeling of optimism about the stadium, certainly not personified by that figure there, Niels Arne Eggen. His team has had a lot of possession, but then a lot of teams we've been seeing recently with a lot of possession against Celtic, with nothing to show for it. That's part of the reason Sutton comes back to fight hard for the cause. And you do get the impression about this Celtic team, it's not just something about winning, it's a cause. Everybody involved in it. And now he's got 13 minutes remaining to go to Porto in a very healthy state. If it stays like this, Guppy. Petrov. Well, that was very risky indeed. It came off for Basma. Lambert, yes, I think on balance now, taking everything into consideration, Lambert has been Billy's choice as man of the match so far, and I'm not going to be, I don't think he'll need to beat me down to accept that. Balde got in again. Larsson. How elusive he can be even in a tight situation. Up comes Guppy. Oh, it's a tempting ball, but nowhere near Larsson. Try to get that out here to the far side. Olsen nowhere near it. Just one or two of these Norwegian players giving me the impression now, Billy, that the legs are beginning to wobble.
Well, they've worked very hard throughout the game, and Celtic maybe just deservedly in front, but Rosenborg certainly deserve still to be in the game, the way they've performed tonight, and I think the way it's set up, we may have an anxious last 10-12 minutes.
Can he play it off? Once again the defensive qualities are in. Mjallby winning that conclusively. There was going to be no second best for him. Now the counter-attack, Petrov. Oh, Mjallby did it. Now the Norwegian players are being beaten to the 50-50 ball all the time. Oh, Guppy made it too obvious. 10 minutes left. Too many of these passes being mopped up now by Celtic. Now Sutton. Is he going to let rip? He is. No, he couldn't get enough leverage in it. You could see that. It was going to be difficult for him. Left. And the crowd sense it.
I think the pace of the game's visibly risen in the last couple of minutes. Actually, both teams really going for it now. It was good play with Sutton there, good positive play, just what Celtic need at this stage.
Well, I think the Norwegians realising they've got to get something out of this. And it's a case of saying, well, we're being beaten 1-0, 2-0 won't make all that much of a difference. We've got to push forward and try and get that equaliser. We've got to risk losing the second goal. Guppy. Well, the third time in succession he's been caught like that.
It's a difficult one for him to come on and play that position, but he seems to be a bit isolated out there.
Very interesting that they were screaming at Guppy, some Celtic supporters right down at the front, and Martin O'Neill rushed across for the ball and told them to calm down. And I think it's Wisnes is coming on for Strand. So that's the two substitutions. Only 6 subs, by the way, for this team. Not that it will matter all that much. One of the players was ill, couldn't go on the bench. Lennon rushing, pursuing, harassing. I think he was put off by the figure of Agathe coming towards him. We have just about 8 minutes remaining. Petrov. Agathe was beginning to fly again. He does take off. Spectacular a night again for Celtic in this stadium.
I think Martin O'Neill and his colleagues in the dugout down there are in for an anxious last 6 or 7 minutes plus stoppage time, and they lived through it very well against Porto, and hopefully they can do it again tonight.
Oh, I thought that ball was going for a corner, just stayed in. There's a hand used now. It could not have happened at a worse time and in a worse place for the side, because again they could be vulnerable to the tremendous armoury that Celtic have in this area. A little bit of nervous for the goalkeeper. Well, any of them could be involved, even Guppy, that left foot of his. A goal now, and Celtic Could now think of that Porto adventure with even more sense of confidence. Now look at Guppy at the back. No, played in there. Not effectively. Petrov. There's Lambert. Just gets in behind the defence. Henrik Larsson gave up a little bit quickly in that. Look at the spirit of Sutton coming back, fighting hard for it now. Lennon, 5 minutes remaining. Balde. And he gives it away. It's 2 against 4 though. Celtic backtracking very quickly. Norwegian trying to get people into the box. And a very poor attempt at putting that over by the substitute, Mr. George. A little bit naive. And another substitution coming up. Frode Johnsen is about to come on. He's replacing Odinge Olsen. Oh, Johnsen, an attacking player, all right. Been a couple of years with the club. He was a scorer, top scorer in the 5 championship games last season. So they brought him on at the end. Still in play. Just a little bit too clever by half. Should have been a little more direct than that. Free kick, and that eases the tension somewhat with 4 minutes left. And once again, the Rosenborg side with a lot of passing, perhaps too many passes at times, Billy.
Yeah, but it was good defensive play with Celtic. They forced them flat across the 18-yard box there, and they were beginning to step out, and one of the defenders was inevitably going to take the ball off him.
Away wide left. Balde's watching that carefully enough. I think you could say his play is characterized by conviction. Agathe. He's still going. Larsson's in the middle. He's uncovered, and oh, he couldn't get it over. Once again, they're trying to play it out. 3 or 4 passes to get it. Look very impressive the way they've done that, but cutting it too fine now. Eyes on the clock. Only 1 goal in it. We make it about 2.5 minutes left, plus some stoppage time. Well, it's been part opportunism by Celtic, as witnessed the free kick, and a great deal of solid defending when necessary. That's what's made it such an important and effective night for them. There's a run by Guppy. There's a chip forward, and it's still just away. Well, the player coming in, Stiljan Petrov again. It's remarkable, his stamina. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, well, he likes to get into the penalty box, and on this occasion I think he just has seen it a wee bit late. Henrik Larsson had made the effort in front of him, but it tells you at this stage of the game that he still has the engine to get into the penalty box.
Playing a lot down to Johnsen. There he is again. Johnsen trying to use his pace. It's a brilliant save by Douglas. But in any case, I think he might have been off, or he was pushing. Well, the Gallic expression there, I don't know whether it was amazement at that save or not. It's a free kick in any case, but we give credit for the save because you never know.
Tremendous save, and I think the referee did indicate that it was a slight push, but a great save by Robert Douglas.
Now Larsson. 45 seconds remaining, just taken away there. In comes Lennon, still pounding forward. That's a very tired looking pass there. Sutton might as well take the ball to the corner. Got out of it well. Guppy tempting the Norwegians to come into them. Throw to Rosenborg, and we have 4 minutes of stoppage time. Don't know how they want that length of time out. A little bit of a push. 4 minutes.
Well. There have been a few substitutions. In fact, Rosenborg have used all of theirs, so I think they add on 30 seconds for each one, but even that still leaves us a bit short.
Then over to Skammelserud. Valgaeren tried to go there. That'll be a goal kick, I think. Yes, it is. Well, that's been, I think, a characteristic of the way that the Celtic defenders have been able to manoeuvre some of their opponents away from dangerous positions, and he did exactly that.
Yeah, I don't think they get muscled out of anything, the Celtic defenders. They're as physical as any that are in the Champions League, and that type of situation is one which suits them.
Sutton trying to get in there. This time they will play the long ball. Well, time is running out. Time is running out for us as well, by the way, but we're keeping our eye on the clock. As I said, 4 minutes of stoppage time. Drift over it does, and that's to Douglas. That was a substitute. Johnsen coming in.
Well, he's got difficult times as he come on, Steve Guppy, but that was a crucial run that he made to match that back post ball there and get a crucial header. I think he in fact was the one that actually knocked it back to Douglas.
Well, they're trying everything. Credit to Rosenborg, they've played a lot of intelligent football. And now I think the extra man is on. The Celtic support clinging onto their team, giving them that final shove towards those last few minutes of the game. Guppy played it in well. Just a matter of holding on to the ball now. Lennon. Beautiful turn there by Hoftun. Now picked up by Berg, who's been very, very good in the counter-attack. Forward it goes, Valgaeren is there. He'll put it anywhere. All eyes on the referee. He's looked at his watch. It is still 1-0. There is still fight in this Rosenborg side. Trying to pound forward against his defence. A defence that's been outstanding when called upon. Sutton has come up. There's the longish ball. Inside it goes. And there's another save by Douglas, but I think there was a handling offence. Certainly looked to me to be a handling offence. Yes, the referee is indicating that. Although a good save, he brought the ball down with his hand. Listen to the shrill whistling. Sutton. And the final whistle has gone. Celtic now go forward with great confidence to Porto. Now picked up 6 points in a very tight group. 3-4 Billy.
Yeah, I think Rosenborg proved it to the a more difficult game than Celtic imagined, but I think Celtic just edged it in the end.
One goal settled it. What did you make of the game?
I thought it was a great game. I thought we deserved to win the match. We got the goal in front, which we deserved, and after that we just couldn't kill the game off. We had chance after chance to get a second goal, and we couldn't kill it, and because of that the game's obviously on a knife edge, and there's always a chance that Rosenborg, who are a good side, can score a goal, but we were terrific today, considering it's our third game in the Champions League. It's a great effort by the players.
Alan, you must be a happy man getting the goal which eventually proved to be the winner in the game.
Yeah, they come very early, but we're just delighted to have held on for the rest of the game and got the 3 points at the end.
It was a tough game, and many people believed that Rosenborg would be easy for Celtic to get the 3 points, but it didn't prove to be the case.
Nah, it just goes to show that there's no easy games when you get to this level, and Rosenborg showed that tonight. I thought they were extremely good, physical, technically good, and proved a difficult test for us.
Celtic top the group now. What's your view on the group with Celtic at the top and Juventus drawing with Porto?
Well, it's 2 games to go, and they're going to be 3 games to go. Sorry, they're going to be difficult. 1 home game left, so we know part of the job's done, but there's still a lot to be done.
Thanks, Alan.
Cheers, Peter.